Hello and welcome, this is Strider. It is a remake or a reboot of the classic NES and arcade game of the same name. I think it's actually more accurately a remake of the NES version. There were some subtle differences, I believe. I don't know how subtle they really were. I haven't played either of the versions, so I don't know. It's by Double Helix, who you may know from games such as Silent Hill Homecoming and other pretty rotten games, but they also made Killer Instinct, the free-to-play Xbox One fighting game that came out that was out at the Xbox One launch, sorry, and this, of course, which is actually pretty good. So maybe they are now a decent developer who make good games, but I don't know how long that'll last. So we'll just jump into here. It's a Metrovania. It's a 2D side-scrolling Metrovania game, and it's kind of light on story. You kind of just the intro is pretty great. It just kind of throws you in there. You kind of like you glide down onto wherever this is. I'm not entirely sure, and an objective just comes up to assassinate the Grandmaster, and that's it. You just go. There's no tutorial, no nothing. It kind of just expects you to know. Or it kind of just expects that you'll figure it out yourself, which is kind of nice, but I just think it's kind of funny. And it kind of sets the tone and sets the pace for the rest of the game, which is extremely fast and kind of very, very lacking on story. There's pretty much no story. A couple of pieces of pretty hokey dialogue for every boss fight, but that's pretty much it. So we'll just get on here. We're pretty early on. You can see up there it says I'm 9 minutes in apparently. I have actually beaten this game. I just started a new game for this. It took me about 5 hours, I'd say, maybe 6. I think I got about 60% completion. I didn't really go for any of the collectibles or upgrades or anything like that, because frankly you don't really need them. If I've got one complaint about this game, it is that the combat is extremely simple and very easy. Of course, I'm only on normal, so I imagine if you go on hard, it does get a little bit more challenging. But the combat is very simple. As you can see, this is it. I'm just mashing X. You can hold down X and charge your attack to do more damage. But I just hit by a train. I just find it to be a lot. What do you call it? A lot slower. But you needed to break those shields. Okay, so that's one of the actual upgrades you can get. That's not like a Metrovania mandatory one. Need for progression. It's health upgrades and energy upgrades. Energy. We actually haven't got energy yet. We'll get it in a moment when we get our first ability. Oh. So as you can see, it's very fast paced, and the game keeps up that pace throughout the whole game, which is really nice. It never really wavers from that. It's kind of non-stop. I do think the pacing is pretty good. And I'm only about 10 minutes into this game. I have pretty much no abilities, but you know, as the game progresses, you do get a nice array of abilities that do vary quite nicely. And once you get, you know, the crux of your movement abilities, you can really get some speed going. You get double jump later, and then there's also like a dash, an air dash that you can do in midair. Off the end of that jump, which can just go really fast. So yeah, like I said about the combat, that's kind of it. If this was it for now and they expanded on it, I wouldn't mind, because it's fun and satisfying, and it is really quite cool to just sort of mow dudes down as you run through them all. But they just don't do anything with it. This is the combat for the entire game, which kind of sucks. I just wish they did a bit more with it. But I mean, I guess that's the whole spirit of Strider. I don't really know. But the combat side, the Metrovania side of things is really well done. I think the abilities you get are really cool, and they give you they keep dishing out abilities at a pretty nice pace, so that you know, your current ability set doesn't get too boring. There's variations to your attacks in that you get like, you know, this is the fire ability, this is the ice ability that will freeze them or whatever, but in terms of what you actually have to do, you're still just spamming X. So this is sort of a boss fight. I wouldn't really call this the first boss fight, it's kind of a mini boss. We'll probably get to the first boss in a bit. Which, you know, not to keep going on about the combat, but this is basically what a lot of the boss fights are. You're kind of just mashing X, in my case, because I'm using a 360 pad. I mean, that was a mini boss, they're not all that quick, but a lot of them are very easy, which just kind of sucks, kind of gets a bit boring after a while. But I mean, obviously, later on, the bosses do get a lot more challenging. You get, I can't say a lot, they get a little bit more challenging. They kind of get a bit bullet hellish, there's kind of tons of shit to avoid, but otherwise, you know, it's not too great. So you can see below my health there in the top left, I've now got my energy meter, which allows me to, later I get throwing knives, but it allows me to do things like that, certain abilities, and that will just recharge over time. Kind of weird that they call it option C. All the abilities are just called option A, B, C, which kind of makes them hard to distinguish between. By name, of course. Just keep going. So like I said, there's a real sense of mobility and fluidity to the movement and the combat. I don't have my double jump yet, but that's something you do get pretty early on. And of course, I said about the dash, and you can grapple onto any surface and climb it like that. I can jump and climb. So this is the map. The areas are pretty large. You know, this is the typical size of an area. Obviously, I haven't discovered all of it yet. And you can see all these different symbols, which when I bring the legend up, there's a lot of them, and it will all represent different things. And the map is very good at telling you, you know, where you can and can't go. There's no real need for free exploration as such, because the map will just tell you whenever there's going to be important stuff, which is very good. It's very good at doing. And of course, these green orbs are me getting health. Every time I kill an enemy or break an orb, I get health back, which also helps to sort of trivialize the combat a bit, because I'm getting health back every time I kill an enemy, which does make it a lot easier. So a lot of these symbols will represent things that you can and can't, or things that require certain abilities to get your access. Like that is a ground slam ability that I've got, that red sort of down arrow. The yellow, the upgrade symbol, tells you where there is an upgrade, so you actually have to go hunt for them, which is nice. But like I said, you don't really need them. I only found about maybe just over half of them, and I was perfectly fine by the end of the game. But I mean, you can hunt them out if you like, for completion reasons, of course. Completion reasons. So I just have to go with that. And also, because the game gives you no reward for killing enemies, and there's no leveling system, there's no XP, there's no items or gear or anything, so there's no reason to kill enemies. So I just find myself skipping them when I can. You know, once you get past the novelty of the combat, you kind of just want to skip them. You kind of just want to skip past enemies, which kind of sucks. I guess it doesn't really suck, but it'd be nice to have some sort of incentive to actually fight enemies. As for how the game looks, some pretty nice lighting effects, and there's some nice particle effects coming off the sparks when you hit something with your sword. I'm currently on the PC version. It is also on new consoles, I believe. I don't know if I can get up there. I don't think I should be here. No. How do I get up there? I don't know why it's let me here. This is much later in the game. Oh. This is weird. This is kind of weird. I don't know why it's done this. Did let me go here though. Okay, there we go. Weird. I've lost all. Oh, I've lost all train of thought. Yeah, anyway. We did that. That was weird. See, checkpoint gives you health. So, yeah, like I said, there's no reason to kill enemies, so honestly, I just found myself skipping them. Skipping enemies I don't need to kill. Which, you know, that's probably just because I beat the game, and you kind of get bored of it after a while. So yeah, dialogue's pretty hokey. It's not too great. Also, these cutscenes don't look too hot. The character models look a bit rough up close. Generally, the game looks alright when it's zoomed out, but in these cutscenes, they don't look too great.
No, I simply await the inevitable.
I'm pretty sure that's the first boss. Smack talking now. Oh boy. It's quite difficult to show it now because I'm so early on in the game, but the sense of ability is, and the sense of speed is really, it's quite apparent when you play this game, and when you have the numerous, what's the word, Metrovania items and progression things. I don't even know what you call them actually. But whatever. So we need to. I don't mean to sound like I'm just, you know, crap talking the game. You know, I played it all the way through and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Just the combat, I wish it could be more, you know. But that's not to say that it ruins the game, because it's honestly it's a fairly small part of the game when you consider how much more important the Metrovania elements are. And like I said, they are really well done. So I don't want to put people off. If you're alright with sort of simple but satisfying combat, then there's no reason not to get this. Definitely gives me a bit of a Shadow Complex vibe, purely because of the sort of the 2D Metrovania element of it. I personally don't think it's as good. But that's just a personal thing, I guess. Where do I need to go? I'm going up. Oh. I will pretty soon be getting an ability to deflect incoming bullets. It's pretty nice, but honestly, the speed that you go at this game, the speed that you play this game, I rarely used it on purpose. When you kind of just mash it, it kind of does it for you. You do it without meaning to, a lot of the time. You see, there's a ton of like doorways and access points that I just can't access because I'm too early in the game. And there's certainly a lot of incentive to backtrack and try and find a lot of the upgrades. But like I said, you know, you don't actually need them. Kind of like his little electronic scarf blowing in the wind. That'll change colour when you get different abilities, which is kind of cool. Oh. This game does start out really strong. I'll give it that. Until the novelty of the speed and the combat wears off. Man, I make it sound like I hate this game. I really don't. I really did enjoy this game. It's just that it's got some issues. I can't say enough how much I like the speed and fluidity of it, although it's just so to the point. There's no... That's the closest thing you'll get to a cutscene in this game. It is pretty much all gameplay, which is nice. Makes a nice change, I guess. That dialogue's not too great. Pretty okay. And these are kind of just the boss fights. This is again kind of a mini boss, I guess, but you know, still, I'm still kind of just mashing X. Also, the environments. The environments are often very repetitive. They're all very sort of generic facilities. You go to like the sewers of all places. Who'd have guessed? Who'd have thought? You know, the factories and laboratories and stuff. And obviously this is just like a cityscape. They look kind of nice, I guess. They're just kind of bland, a bit generic. So I think because I did enough damage without getting hurt, I activated that kind of crazy mode. Just did loads of damage really fast. Just really wish they did more with the combat. I know, I guess it's like the spirit of Strider or whatever, but it just gets kind of dull. But it's not, you know, it's not too long. It doesn't take. It doesn't get. Sorry, it doesn't get. Doesn't outstay its welcome, I should say. Okay, double jump. It's kind of weird playing this game again from the beginning after having beaten it, because you just lose so much mobility going from the end to the beginning. It's crazy. Kind of take it for granted, but that air dash ability was pretty great. I'm kind of missing that bad now. So yeah, I don't want to just keep repeating myself, but you know, especially when the game just so many of the objectives are just go from A to B. I can't help myself, but just skip enemies. Sorry. There's an upgrade there, but I'm not entirely sure I can get that. Actually, I might be able to. You can see it on my health in the top left. It'll show you what the potential is for how large it can get, or how much health you can actually reach. That's what the darker green side of it is. I think that was a concept art piece. I'm just gonna ignore that. Okay. I have to get up there.
The Emperor has a plan for all citizens of Gotham City.
You can really move in this game. Just want to kind of get to the first major boss and show you what that's like. Because the bosses are simple, but they're not. You know, they're not the ones that I was doing before. They are simple. It doesn't get that bad. Those are kind of mini bosses. I don't really remember this not too well. Oh. I almost always skip the guys with the shields if I can because it just takes too long to charge up the attack. Okay, so it wants me to go this way. I will admit there's something nice about just being able to run through enemies. That makes you feel pretty cool. I'm trying to get down there, okay. Oh, overload the crane controls. I think I did need to go this way actually. Where am I? Oh right, okay, sorry. I'm going the wrong way completely. Probably would shell it. I probably won't be able to show you it here, but if you remember earlier in the video, I used a thing called Eagle Flight, where I travel sort of back into an earlier layer of the map. I can't really know how to describe, but that's the closest thing that this game has to a fast travel system. It'll take you from A to B, but I mean the world's pretty large. If I show you the world map, you know it's pretty big. You go to a number of different places, and I think it would be nice if they actually had some sort of freeform travel system, fast travel system. Sorry. Would definitely benefit from that because, especially when you're trying to do some backtracking to get upgrades and items and stuff, it's kind of a pain to have to run all the way back, even with the extra mobility that you get later on. It's not gonna help, nope. I completely forgot about this. This whole bit. Need some health. Oh, I think there's an upgrade down here. Nice. I'm honestly not sure what a Strider is, to be honest. They kind of paint him as some sort of ninja. He's not the Strider, I know that, because they refer to him as a Strider, so I'm pretty sure there's others. I guess he's just some dude with a sword who runs fast and slices dudes in half. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, the ability to reflect bullets is pretty useful right about now, or would be even, sorry. And it's kind of cool that if you're just running and mashing X, which you are most of the time, it'll kind of just deflect them normally. If you get lucky enough, it's kind of like Star Wars Jedi Knight Outcast style, which is nice. Oh man, I think this is all coming back to me now. Oh boy, hey buddy, defeat the Napalm Trooper. Man, it's just so button mashy. Dumb looking jump. Controls well though. I'll give it that. Certainly feels tight. Oh boy. I was hoping I'd be able to get to the first boss, but I don't know.
He should have come to me first. Prices have gone up.
You get the man.
I keep going for a bit, and if I don't stumble on the boss, I'll just have to end it. Probably should have scouted ahead a bit, but I did kind of think the first boss was coming a lot sooner than this. But yeah, I've been talking a lot of crap about the combat, and I do think the combat's kind of disappointing, and I do wish they did a lot more with it. But you know, I don't want to try and make people think that I hate the game, because I really did enjoy it. I feel the need to emphasize that as much as possible. It's a very excellent game. Really well paced. I think the pacing is excellent. It's consistently extremely fast, which is always nice. The combat's satisfying. It is simplistic and easy, but it is satisfying. I do think the Metroidvania stuff is really well done. And if you're here for that, then I don't think you'll be too disappointed. Even though I didn't really engage in it that much, there's plenty of exploration to be done, collectibles to find and upgrades and stuff. You do get some cool abilities. I'll give you that. It's like £12, $15. I think it's well worth that. Although there's no New Game Plus, which kind of sucks. I don't know. I don't know how they really would do that, I guess, because a lot of the abilities would kind of break the game, I guess, if you had them too early. Be nice to be able to play the game at, you know, with all your health upgrades and stuff. And you just make the game harder, but it just kind of ends the game. It gives you your percentage and time to beat, and that's it really. There's upgrades down there. Sorry, oh yeah, there's upgrades down there. Can I get there? Yeah, she's doing the slide thing. Yeah. I do kind of like that slowdown when you get an upgrade. It's kind of cool. Oh man. Oh man. Oh come on, the boss has got to be just around this corner. Totally ran out of things to say before the Totally ran out of things to say before, I should say. I actually reached the first boss, which I didn't anticipate. I didn't play the original Strider, but this seems like a pretty good reboot. I mean, I've no idea how fans of the original are taking this, but this seems, from what little I know about the original Strider, this seems like a pretty faithful reimagining. I say reboot actually. It's more of a remake, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure, but alright, this is the boss, right? That was sloppy. Also, the game doesn't really encourage you to play well and sort of tactically, because you just get health from every enemy and every orb that you see, which kind of just allows you to play it pretty sloppy. But I don't mind that. I like a bit of room for error, and here we are, the first boss. Finally, get some more of that pretty horrible dialogue. Right. The long-awaited, highly anticipated first boss. Nope. Oh, it's so mashy. You know, they get harder, but just this one in particular, kind of dull to be honest. How easy it is.
Strider, you have been marked a danger to the state.
Oh, can't see because of the dialogue thing. There we go.
Face
Oh, he's trying to blow up the floor, so avoid that. Don't touch when he's doing that. And now he's... What's he doing? Oh, right, yeah. Avoid this stuff. Oh dear. Oh, fuck. Fuck! Oh, talking about how easy the boss is and I got killed. Oh, damn. Got trapped in all this crap, man. I'll do one more attempt. Because this video is dragging out a lot longer than I anticipated. Solo. But I'm not entirely sure you can skip this. Which I'm annoying. Oh god. What am I doing? Nope. Nope, get in the middle. There you go. Oh, what am I doing? What the hell was that? I was so stupid.
You have been marked a danger to the state. Surrender or face the consequences.
He's doing the bad stuff again. Okay. I'm just gonna focus on avoiding these instead of trying to do damage. Just pop one of those aerial things off on him. Oh boy. There we go. Nice. So yeah, we'll just pretend the original death didn't happen, and I'm gonna go back to what I said about it being easy. I guess it's not even that it's just easy, it's just that it's, you know, it's so basic, so simple. So now we get the reflectability, we can... And the timing on that's pretty tight, so you know, I don't really find myself standing there to actually deflect things all that often. There's also, if I quit out to the main menu, there's a bunch of side stuff you can do. Challenge modes, beacon run and survival mode. We'll try a beacon run. Tunnel trouble. I don't really want to try out the survival mode because I know that's just survive as long as you can. This is kind of like a time trial thing, I guess. touch them, they knock you back. It's such bullshit. Oh, okay. So they actually give you all your abilities, which is nice. So now I've got my zappy jump thing, which is kind of nice. Nice. I even get my other attack types. This is the flame one. You get throwing knives there. I don't know if this is. I guess it's time travel, but it also ends when you die, so I guess it's just how long you can go. Oh yeah, I miss this feeling, this mobility. It's pretty great. It's probably the best thing about this game, to be honest. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, that air dash is so good. Oh boy. Yes, there we go. Got an A! That was... I wasn't expecting that. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Time trial. Actually, quite a few. I only got a small fraction of them. Oh, I see. You see how the portrait actually tells you what abilities you've got. It's kind of cool. Although it's impossible to decipher what most of those mean, even for me. That's cool. So that's Strider. I like it, despite what I've said about the combat about 50 times. It's really good. It's well put together, and the pacing's pretty excellent. I really enjoyed the Metroidvania elements of it, and it's fun. It's pretty dumb, but it's pretty fun. It's a pretty good reboot. So there you go. It's a pretty good reboot. So there you go. Time to beat, and that's it really. Let's upgrade it down now. Let's upgrade it down now. So okay, this upgrade's done now.